video, Robert Johansing, VP of Exploration for Gold79’s, presents their gold chain project in northwestern Arizona, at the southern end of Nevada's prolific Walker Lane Gold Trend.
We are at the Banner mine right now and standing at the collar of the Banner shaft, which was driven in around 1918 to a depth of 420 feet. The Red Hill Ledge is this zone that we're standing at right here, several meters thick. On this lateral at 400 feet, they drove a few hundred feet out to the west and into the hanging wall drove a couple crosscuts where historic reports make note of high-grade gold in vein breccias similar to these. From right here, we're looking out into just general Precambrian terrain. The Tyro mine sits down in there. You can see the old leach pad from here. You can see over here this white, light-colored ledge here, which is the Red Hill Ledge right here, dipping about 45-50 degrees in that direction. So you can see the strong quartz mineralization coming all the way across and then up to the Sunset vein. And we're now standing on the Banner saddle and directly on the Red Hill Ledge. From here we can see a short spur that we put in last September, from which we drilled 3 holes in an RC program. And we had some interesting results to get started with. We had one hole here that's 13.72 meters of 2.56 grams, and then another hole of 3.05 meters of 10.68 grams. Both of those intercepts were directly on the Red Hill Ledge and show some continuity. Now from here, we can see up on the skyline here, we can see this rugged outcrop up here. It's composed of chalcedony, calcite cemented breccias, and strong veining of banded chalcedony calcite veins. That is the northernmost expression of the Sunset vein. I'm currently standing on an outcrop of vein along the Sunset vein system. From the north end of the vein system south along a ridge held up by a rhyolite dike, which has been invaded by a broad zone of chalcedony, quartz, calcite veins, and veinlets and breccias. We are currently at the Sunset shaft, which was driven to a depth of about 70 feet in around 1916. My initial sampling last year of this dump was this particular pile here composed of sucrosic quartz and manganese-rich calcite with olive green chalcedony, and it ran 11.5 grams per ton. This Sunset vein is actually a transverse structure trending about north 15 east and perpendicular to the rhyolite dikes. In this particular zone here, we're looking at about 40 to 50 meters wide. As it goes north, the veinlet zone widens up to 100 meters. As we go south over this hill, about 100 meters south, it breaks into 2 distinct veins, each forming veinlet silicified breccia zones of 15 to 20 meters. I'm currently standing on an outcrop of the Sunset vein system. Here you can see the strong quartz chalcedony stockwork, most of it's chalcedony, traversing the Precambrian granite, which is brown. And then here we have a pronounced vein, a meter or 2 wide, of quartz chalcedony. And then continuing along this old trail, you can see the very intense veining in the silicified rhyolite. Up here you'll see the development of calcite as lattice-shaped crystals. In some places the later calcite is not replaced. In many cases it has been replaced by quartz. And then the zone continues. Again, you can see here the breccia, some of the late vugs filled with bladed calcite, and this continues several meters up in this direction here. We are currently standing at the Sheep Trail mine area, Gold79’s most recent acquisition. We are on the Sheep Trail ledge here, where you can see some limited mine workings where they have selectively mined high-grade material, leaving behind these broad zones of altered rhyolite dike cut by quartz veinlets. The package here is 30 to 50 meters thick. This is the beginning of what we refer to as the Golden Elbow, which extends along the Sheep Trail claims for about 1 kilometer. And you'll see here in our next stop, the area contains a lot of old workings, not very deep, mostly quite superficial, but we've had a high percentage of our samples in this area contained in excess of 5 grams per ton and up to over 50 grams per ton from these stockwork zones. The veining here is either a sucrosic quartz or a green chalcedony with minor amounts of calcite. We are standing about 200 meters east of where we last spoke. You can see the workings in the background there. That's the western part of the Sheep Trail ledge. We've moved along the ledge, and I want to point out to you here, you can see in the background this mountain here is composed of mostly silicified rhyolite invading the Precambrian granite. In the far background, you can see where we were on the Sunset vein about an hour ago. So we come along the Sheep Trail ledge here, which is a package of rhyolite dikes dipping back to the south. And right up in this area here, the trend goes from basically east-west to generally south 45 east. And that bend is what I refer to as the Golden Elbow. And the reason I've given it that name is the preliminary sampling I did last spring up in this area here yielded a large percentage of samples in excess of 5 grams. What we see here is that the silicified rhyolites have been broken or crackled and cemented by a green sucrosic quartz or chalcedony containing significant gold values. And I think this is evidenced in the fact that we see a lot of superficial mine workings here where the old timers, and again this is back 1915, 1920, 1925, worked a lot of these areas. Now there's a lot of material left. There's a lot of exposures of quartz stockwork in these areas here. The zone here is in the 40 to 60 meter range. And again, we have not, all of our work has been preliminary to date. This particular slot was developed over about a 400 meter strike length, and it was done in the 1980s. Our role as Gold79’s will be to document what we have here, get into the underground workings, which we'll look at later, and then to drill probably from that side of the vein as it is dipping steeply to the east, and see what the continuity is with depth. We know that we have a lot of strike length to work with going to the southwest and to the northeast, and we know there's been some limited mining here, but we don't know how much. So we're just going to focus on documenting what we have at the surface in the underground workings, and then hopefully get back in here to drill. We are currently at the entrance of the 200 level of the Tyro mine. And I'd like to take you in there to show you the Tyro shaft, and then also show you where the Tyro 200 level is cross-cut by the open cut, which we looked at previously. We are currently on the main cross-cut through the Tyro vein zone, and again the 200 level, and we're entering an area that was opened up by mining activity in the 1980s via a slot mine or a slot pit on the main vein zone. The zone here ranges in width from 40 to 60 meters, and we'll go in here. You can see how it's daylighted here, some spectacular views of the veining in the pit walls as well as in the drift. But I want to come down here and show you an area where there's a few veins that I think nicely represent what was mined here. Right here we have a few series of quartz adularia calcite veins cutting the Precambrian granite, which were left in the wall rock. Again, the zone is probably 40 to 60 meters wide. Again, we don't have any idea what they do at depth, but I think with the acquisition by Gold79’s of the patented claims here, we'll have plenty of opportunity to explore these veins to depth and along strike. We are standing next to a shallow stope developed on the northeast Tyro vein system. Sampling and mapping here has revealed a sheeted quartz vein system ranging from 12 to 20 meters wide. Surface vein samples are up to 15.7 grams per ton, and trenches have yielded 13 meters of 2.04 grams per ton. In October 2021, we drilled 4 short holes beneath this zone, and all holes traversed significant gold mineralization. In one particular hole, GC 2115, we cut 21.3 meters of 2 grams gold per ton, including 7.6 meters with 3.72 grams per ton. I trust you had a good flight down from the Tyro and Sheep Trail mines. We're down here on the south end of the property, just north of Sugarloaf Peak. During your flight, you probably got a chance to see the altered rhyolite along the North Oatman trend. Reconnaissance activities last year identified widespread anomalous gold values in quartz veins throughout the entire area. We are currently looking out across the valley. Again, there is Lake Mojave, the city of Laughlin, and again Sugarloaf Peak. I want to walk over, and some of our initial sampling, we identified a vein system down here which yielded, in a quartz calcite vein, which yielded 5.5 grams gold. Now our claim position extends out over to that red hill over there. That's the Frisco mine held by Frisco Gold. Preliminary examination suggests that maybe a flow dome complex over there. The mine is currently not active. Looking further into the valley, we can see Highway 68. Arizona Silver's Philadelphia project, the Arabian vein, extends up underneath the alluvium towards the Frisco mine.
Thanks for visiting our Gold Chain project. For more information, visit our website at www.gold79mines.com.